I'm trying to win $125,000 at the poker table by New Year's Eve 2026 to pay off my student loans, and we're starting in Sin City itself, Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're new here, I'm JQ. I just finished grad school with a whopping $121,507 worth of student debt, and despite my 3 degrees, no one seems to be hiring. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and pay off my debt through playing cards. If you want to watch the rest of the series, you can like, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications to stay up to date on any new videos. For past ones, the link will be up here. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The sun is setting over beautiful Las Vegas. We are at the Paris Hotel. We're gonna go play a cash game session at the Paris. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Good luck us. We head on up the escalator towards the main ballroom where we run into Sethi Poker on the way. Really nice guy. Go check him out if you haven't already. Until we finally arrive at the main ballroom. This is where they host most of the tournaments for the WSOP. There's a lot of energy in the room, but I'm more interested in what's off to the right, the cash game tables. Get on the list and we head over to jump into a 2-5 game, which becomes a 2-5 with a permanent 10 pretty quickly. We're in for $1,000. Let's go run it up. For our first hand of the night, the button straddle is on for $10. A Chinese pro in the small blind has raised to $40. And when it's on me in the hijack, I peel ace jack of spades. I didn't fly all the way to Vegas to fold this beautiful suited Broadway, so I decided to put in the 3-bet up to $120. Now it's just gonna fold around, but this was a big one for my confidence. Nice to drag a pot early. Next up, we're on the button with the Solver Special, Ace-5 of Hearts, the $10 straddle is on, and the hijack has min raised up to 20. But when the cutoff calls, I decide to get a little frisky here with a 5 in my hand. I make it $70 to go. Table captain to my left in the small blind, Ken puts in the call. He was quite a character, very funny guy, made the game very entertaining. The initial raiser in the hijack folds, and the cutoff's getting a good price. He flicks it in. So we're going 3 ways off to see a very favorable flop for us. It is Ace-Jack 10 with 2 hearts. We have the gut shot, we have the nut flush draw. Let's play a huge pot. It checks on over to us. I decide to bet out for $75, a little bit more than 1/3 pot, and they're both going to fold. So taking down our first 2 pots of the night, before we are in the $10 straddle, Ken has raised under the gun to 50. Pretty huge size, but this was his standard raise size. The cutoff has called, the small blind has called, and I peel ace-queen offsuit in this straddle. In theory, I think this is a little bit loose to be squeezing from the under the gun opener, but Ken was opening pretty wide, and I think both the players were flatting wide as well. So I decided to raise it up, and I raise it big here to $275. Ken pretty quickly folds under the gun, and the cutoff now decides that he wants to move all in for $282. The small blind folds, it's only 7 more for me to call. Just like that, we're playing a $675 pot out of nowhere. Over to you, dealer. Cutoff doesn't look too happy after the run out is complete. I just fast roll my hand. Don't want to embarrass the guy and make him show. Just like that, we're scooping in another pot, up nearly $600 to start the night. But remember, this game is playing pretty big, so don't expect us to lock it up. We're going to be battling, and the chips will be flying. This next hand is a funky one. We're in the $10 straddle. The button, small blind, and the big blind have limped. We decide to check our option with 6-3 offsuit, and we flop 2 pair on 6-5-3 rainbow. Pretty good start for us, flopping top and bottom pair. The small blind's gonna lead off for half pot, $20 into 40. The big blind folds. We're of course not going anywhere with 2 pair. I put in the call, so we're heads up off to see the deuce of diamonds hit the turn. The small blind doesn't seem to care that the straight has just come in as he begins to bomb it, this time betting $80 for around the size of the pot. We have 2 pair, but he's bet the flop, bombed the turn when the nuts have changed dramatically. And even though we have 2 pair and can improve to a full house, we're not getting a very good price to call. And I just think this guy has a very strong hand. Sometimes when you think you're beat, you have to just lay it down. The small blind is nice enough to show us that he had pocket 4s, so pretty decent fold here. Let me know what you guys think. The next 45 minutes or so are pretty much just smooth sailing, taking down a lot of pots pre and on the flop, like in this one when we're in the $5 big blind with pocket queens. The 10 is on once again. There's been 2 limps over to me. I decided to make it chunky and go for a $75 ISO size. Ken in the straddle is going to call. The limpers get out of the way, and we're just going to take it down with a C-bet on the flop. So not super interesting, but picking up about $100 of dead money here. When the straddle gets on, every pot just matters that much more. Smooth sailing until we pick up pocket 9s under the gun. I'm going to raise it up to $30. The straddle is on once again. The button and the big blind are going to put in the call. So we're 3 ways off to a flop, which comes beautiful for us. It's 10-9-6 with 2 diamonds and a heart. And what's even better news is that the big blind is now going to decide to lead for $30 into 90. Now it's on us. This donk lead was a little bit strange to me. I don't think this is a board that in theory the big blind is going to get to lead that often. In hindsight, I wish I had raised to something like $150, just looking to pile a lot of money in. But in game, I was pretty confused and weirded out by the lead. I do think the big blind can have all the combos of 8-7 offsuit for a straight. So I decided to play this one cautiously and just call. The button's gonna call behind, and we see the jack of spades on the turn. $180 in the middle, and now the big blind decides to slow down and check. I think we almost certainly have the best hand here, so I decided to take the betting lead, going for a size of $100 into $180. The button started the hand short stacked, so he moves all in for his remaining $169. The big blind just gets out of the way. I of course snap call. Maybe he has a diamond draw, or he might have just turned top 2 pair, or maybe when I flick in the call, he's gonna fast roll his hand and let us know.
I have the nuts.
No board pair to be found on the river, so we're losing this over $500 pot. As our opponent peels with the naked gut shot on the flop and spikes the 4-outer on the turn. I don't know if I'm going to pay off on the jack of diamonds, to be honest, so a bit unlucky, kind of an outrageous peel from him. But like I said before, I should probably just be raising the flop. A bit of an unfortunate setback, but we're still up a decent amount. In our next hand, we're going to get an opportunity to win some money back from the button who just stacked us. He's missed his $10 straddle, but he has limped under the gun. It folds to me on the button, and I have ace-3 of hearts. We're looking for redemption from the last hand and from getting stacked with ace-3 suited in our last video. So I put in the ISO to $25. It folds around, and he sticks in the call. So we're heads up to a flop, which comes out queen, 3, deuce with 1 heart. We have middle pair, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, and for the second hand in a row, we're going to get led into when the under the gun decides to bet out for $10. There must be something in the water here at the Paris that makes people lead super often, but we're getting a good price. I don't think raising makes a ton of sense. So I decided to stick in the call, and we see the 9 of diamonds hit the turn. Under the gun is not done betting. He's going to continue for a larger size now, $35. Now this is still a fairly small bet relative to the size of the pot, and I don't know guys, I just really don't believe him here. I think most of the time I would just pitch my cards, but for some reason, the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up, so I just had to put in the call once again. The pot has gotten fairly big out of nowhere, $150 in the middle, and we see the 4 of spades on the river. Happy to see him just check. I don't think our hand is strong enough to value bet. I decided to just check it on back. The under the gun is hesitant to show, but eventually turns over ace-jack offsuit. No clue what's going on in this hand, but happy to be dragging another pot. Not quite sure if we've redeemed ourselves enough from last video and from our previous hand, but who cares? Cue the Bob Marley anyways. So we actually don't have the rights to play that song, so we're just going to get right back to the vlog. That is going to bring us to our final hand of note. There's the $10 straddle on. The low jack has limped. We're going to put in the ISO from the cutoff up to $50 with ace-king offsuit. The button calls, the small blind calls, the straddle, and the limper are all going to call. So we're going 5 ways off to a flop with $250 in the middle, and it comes out jack 9-7 rainbow. Not a lot working for us. It checks on over to me. I decided to just check here, so multi-way, and the button checks it back. Same 5 off to see the beautiful king of spades hit the turn. We have top pair, top kicker. We are still very multi-way, but when it checks to us for a second time, I feel pretty comfortable betting out for a fairly large size of $125. That's just going to do the trick as everyone folds around. Not a super interesting hand, but picking up $200 of dead money is never a bad thing. Shortly after this, the game was getting a little bit stale. We decided to head out, meet our friends for a drink, and call it a night.
Alright guys, it's late, I'm tired and I want to go to bed, but we were in for 11 out for 13 and some change. That one pot with 9s, maybe we should raise the flop, as is booking another small win. Sleep tight guys. Dookie, anything you have to say as you tuck the folks in for bed?
Just keep turning sand into gold, fellas.
Wow. I have women that watch my channel too.
And ladies too.
And ladies. Remember, turn your sand into gold. And don't trap your sets, kids.